The Accountant 2 is the brand new movie that just hit theaters. This is a sequel to the original Accountant, which came back all the way in 2016. Back directing the movie is Gavin O'Connor, who directed the first film. And in this film, back from the original film as Ray King is J.K. Simmons, but he's killed off early in the movie. And on the investigation, also back from the original film, is the detective of Meredith Medina, who's played once again by Cynthia Addai Robinson. And she realizes that Ray, played by Simmons, asked for the accountant to fix his unsolved murder. And along the way, the accountant is brought back, who is Christian Wolf, played by Ben Affleck. But as Wolf is trying to figure out who killed Ray and what the intentions were, he needs to bring in his brother, Braxton, who's played by Jon Bernthal, who he hasn't seen since the events of the original Accountant, which took place 8 years prior to the events of this movie. The film is 2 hours and 12 minutes long and is rated R. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Sinberg. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do movie and TV show reviews, out-of-theater reactions, box office breakdown shows, movie franchise rankings. If you like any one of those things, this is the channel for you. Subscribe, ring the bell if you're new. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on The Accountant 2? Are you a fan of the first one? Did you see this movie without seeing the first one? If you've seen both, which one do you like more? I respond to all comments, so definitely please comment down below. Let's have a fun discussion. Also, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. Helps YouTube recommend my videos to more people. So the more you guys hit that thumbs up, the better we are to find new people to come to Max Talks Movies. So, before this, I had not seen The Accountant 1 until the day before I saw Accountant 2. And I really liked the first Accountant. It's a really solid action thriller movie. It's not this great movie, but I had a really good time with the first Accountant. That got me even more excited then to check out this sequel. And I gotta be honest, I might be in the minority. I actually think Accountant 2 is better than Accountant 1. I am definitely much a big fan of this sequel. And I was thinking about it when the movie came out and I didn't see it. I didn't understand why there would be talks of a sequel. Watching the original movie did lend itself to a sequel. And I think this movie is a really good follow-up. Now, while this movie definitely deviates a bit, meaning tonally, because the first film is a dead-on serious thriller with some action here and there. This movie is going more of, yes, there's some thrilling elements, but it goes for a lot more action and a lot more comedy. There's like bits and pieces of comedy, I would say, in the first Accountant. I don't remember laughing at all watching the first Accountant. This can be quite a funny movie. And I think even though it deviates from the first film as it pertains to tone, it still feels like the same franchise and the same characters. It doesn't feel like a film from a different franchise. And that was what I was nervous about rewatching the trailer going into this one, was the trailers made this feel like it would be a totally different movie than the first film. But I don't think it is, even though it has a lot more action and tons of comedy. But this is a very easy movie to watch. Honestly, I had a very good time watching The Accountant 2. And the big difference was Jon Bernthal was in bits and pieces of the first film. He's obviously a very important part of the first movie, but he's really put up here to be basically being the co-lead with Affleck of this film. And I think the movie works the more for it, because Affleck is playing against someone who's has a condition. And so he can't be at times this over-the-top action hero. And Bernthal, though, can bring all the charisma, the jokes, the quips, all of that blends perfectly with Affleck's character. Now, obviously, it helps that they're brothers in the movie, but one character with his condition is kind of limited from an acting perspective, what Affleck can actually do as pertains to for emotion. Bernthal really brings that, and it gives the movie a lot more energy to it than the first film. But again, Affleck is fantastic in this movie. I love him as the accountant. He does less accounting, I would say, than the first one, which I don't think is a great thing for this movie. But he's so good in the movie, very locked in. He's actually a lot funnier than he was in the first film. But you can take him seriously. That 1 second, you can buy him as an accountant. The next second, he could be dislocating your shoulder. You don't really know what he could be doing. So that I really like. As I said, Bernthal's really good. Robinson gets a lot more screen time, even more so than she did in the first Accountant film, and she's very strong. The whole ensemble itself is always very strong. The action scenes, as I said, there's a lot more action scenes in this film than the original, and they are awesome action set pieces, especially the one towards the third act of the movie. It is really fun action set pieces with not a lot of score, just focusing in on the action, seeing these brothers go to work was very satisfying. The continuing themes of what Affleck's condition is and how much that is such a force in this movie, both from the people who are helping Affleck get this information and Affleck the character, and why he is so personally driven to find the person who killed J.K. Simmons' character. So that being the driving force and theme of this franchise, I have really enjoyed, and it gives this movie and franchise a lot more heart than it should be. And as I said, also the movie is very funny. Bernthal especially, but there's some just really, especially there's a scene at a Los Angeles cowboy bar, and I thought from the trailers it didn't really work. In the movie, it is quite funny, but also very authentic to how people act, and I found it to be a really strong scene in the film. I will say on a negative level, it feels like it's this. I think we need to figure out just a better villains for this franchise. It's just another kind of mustache twirling like villain where he did something wrong. He doesn't want to be caught. So he has a one assassin who goes off and does stuff for him. You've kind of seen this villain in a billion other movies. And you don't really feel that great of satisfaction when stuff happens to him towards the third act of the movie, because you've seen that character done a billion times in other action comedies. So I wish the villains were at all interesting, because when they were on screen, the movie can be quite boring and dull. But luckily, they're not on screen for the big part. And as I said, I wish Affleck's character felt like more like in the first film, they go back and forth between him being an accountant and him actually doing some action stuff. Here, he does like maybe one scene for like a minute of him actually accounting and doing that stuff that he doesn't do the rest of the movie. I think if we're going to keep calling these movies The Accountant, I want to see Affleck doing that more often. So that's something I didn't like. But overall, I had a blast with The Accountant 2. Definitely one I'm happy to see, and I definitely would love to see more films in this franchise. So overall, I'm going to give The Accountant 2 a 4 out of 5 stars, a 78%. What are your thoughts on The Accountant 2? Let me know in the comment section, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.